Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are continuing on in Case 5, The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Alright. So let's examine the outside of this pawnbrokery shop before we go in. Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. Ah, that's Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. Looks much smarter than a pawnbroker's in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable personally. It reminds me of tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. All the different things in the window. Oh, it's the same. Okay. Come on. Is there anything else to look at? No? Just seeing London streets. We're not gonna comment on the fact that this is closed? Oh, I guess not. And the homes above. Oh yes, we can go to the right now. Oh, so we really are right around the corner from, like, really just a couple doors down. So this is the Baker Street building. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Holmes's office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know. Are we ever gonna meet Mrs. Hudson? Because she's the one who is the landlady who lives on the bottom floor, usually, so... To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Oh my gosh. So far, it hasn't happened. So far, Naruhodo became the Maya of the game. That he was the one in being accused of murder twice. I'm wondering, since we're at the last case, is she gonna get accused this time, or is it just gonna happen in the next game? So, that's interesting. Okay. Anything else we can look at? No, not really. Alrighty then, I was just curious. Okay. So let's move. Alright, lots of old looking clocks and stuff. April 15th, Windibank's pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Ah, Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this? Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Holmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Holmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. He's ready to rumble. Oh, okay, so this is him, I assume. Windibank. Oh, Mr. Holmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windibank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Oh, this poor man. You're about to get it, aren't you? But I want to examine. Can I examine, or is he not gonna let me? We'll see, because he might be like, what are you doing? We're here to fight, not to look around. Well, I want to look around. This one sticks out. Yep. What are you doing, my dear fellows? We're not here to browse for interesting curios. We have come to teach this broker a lesson. Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items. Looks as though we'll have to talk to Mr. Windibank first before you can explore in here, Miss Susato. Alright, let's talk. About the violin. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windibank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Holmes. Uh-oh. Somebody bought the other one? Is that what happened? And he was hoping to get away with doing that? I don't think you're supposed to do that, sir. Although, that's what the problem with this kind of thing is, right? Is that if somebody comes in and wants to buy something, isn't he going to sell it? Especially because it's very expensive. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. Oh? What the? I shall have to take my own life. Sir? How is this being played comedically? This is not funny, sir. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? He's like, sir, I can't with you right now. It was you, sir, Mr. Holmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, "Oh, here it is." You did? Oh boy. And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. Ah, this reminds me of what happened at the end of the last case. That Natsume was gonna go off on Holmes, and Holmes just cut him off. This is what's happening right now. Sherlock, now you get a taste of your own medicine. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, no, no. Stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. Oh, I'm gonna fall over for no reason. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windibank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sherlock Holmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. Let's just laugh off what just happened and no more attempting to kill ourselves, please. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh? Peculiar items like that big machine? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sherlock Holmes or some such. Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean?
Oh, forgive me!
Wait, before you die, you must tell me more! Savage! Don't die! I don't care about your life, I just want you to tell me. Wow. Okay, I guess we're talking about that first, so. I must know more. Tell me everything, or I'll throw you. Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now. She's kind of scary. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
Excuse me. My throat.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windibank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here.
How do you know it's safe there? Like, there's only one guy. Anybody could come in and steal stuff, can't they?
And that was that. As such, Mr. Holmes's latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Holmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? Like, Iris would be pissed at you if she found out?
I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you. On my life.
This is all very strange, and you look a little too eager to kill yourself, so please put the gun away. Alright, let's talk about the pawnbrokery. I wonder, could I ask you something?
Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it.
Hey.
Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry, I'm not here to sell you the clothes off my back. What the hell?
Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am. 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic, Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
You want her to leave this room naked, sir? What the frick? Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
Of course there's interest. But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
Okay, that makes sense then. If he stores them in the back and doesn't have them out there for 2 months, that means that they know ahead of time, if you don't come back within this time, it will be sold. That works. Okay. I wasn't sure about that. I don't know if modern pawn shops have that same method, that they store it for a while and then there's like a certain deadline before they start selling it, you know? That actually makes more sense because they got to give you time for you to come back and buy back your item, you know? Okay, now I've learned a little more about pawn shops, which, I mean, there's some negative stuff associated with that sometimes pawn shops, they're accepting items that people are stealing a lot of the times, right? That they're coming in to pawn off some stuff, and most of the time it's not like they're interested in coming back for the item. They just want to get some quick money fast, and what better way to get rid of the items they stole, right? So that's the problem with pawn shops in the modern day, but maybe back then that wasn't a problem. I don't know. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windibank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually.
Weren't you doing that this morning yourself, Sherlock?
Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs.
Oh, what have you done?
Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windibank has installed here in his shop.
Yeah, because he doesn't have security, which is what I was wondering about.
I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibank? Oh.
What was that deep sigh about? Okay. I'm feeling, since we're spending all this time here and all of that, that something has to happen here. So maybe our final case will not be a murder. Maybe it will be a theft, right? That his pawn shop has been broken into and robbed. That'd be interesting. I kind of sometimes wish that they would do more cases that are not murder, you know? I think it'd be a little more interesting to have some variety.
What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Oh, so it takes pictures of people coming and going?
Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop.
Oh, so it's not like automatic whenever people enter, it's just timed every 30 minutes. So, I mean, a lot could happen during that time, but if there's anything out of place, I guess we could play the whole spot the difference game, right? You compare an image from 30 minutes previous and then one from like right before or during a murder or something, then you can say, oh, this changed and that changed. That's probably what we're gonna have to do, right, in case a murder or a theft occurs.
Here, I have an example I can show you.
Okay.
Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive, it produces a crystal clear image, even in darkness.
Oh, really? I didn't know you guys had that kind of technology.
Really? That's extraordinary.
Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. Okay.
So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed.
Summarily. I think I said it weird. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say, That would be a cruel twist of fate.
I mean, that's probably what's gonna happen.
I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause of distress lately. Of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word.
Why are they distressing? Oh, that makes sense.
It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older.
Eek. You didn't think about that, did ya?
Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no?
But you're not the one paying it, sir. And I think the issue is, like she said, you can't catch it in the moment. And it's just a picture. So if they know about it, they could easily tamper with it or destroy it, right? I know back then they were probably pretty limited, but he would have been better off setting up like a Rube Goldberg machine type of thing, where if the guy's in danger or somebody breaks in, that something happens to the person, right? Like they get like a BB gun shot to the leg or arm or something. That would be so much better than what they currently have, but at least we'll have evidence during a trial, I guess. It is what it is.
My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us!
Okay.
Now then, Mr. Holmes, allow me to return your precious violin.
There it is.
Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibank.
Now what about this other item?
Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer.
Sir, please.
I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt.
Fear not.
Sorry. I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed.
Unless you miss, or something happens, you trip, and you accidentally shoot somebody else.
That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Holmes.
Interesting.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last.
Alright. Let's look around.
Look at this. What could this lovely, big, shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country?
Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
Oh. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I like it.
Oh, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Ah, science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Music is, you know, universally something people love. Okay, not there, nothing there. I do want to say, this guy sitting here, he kind of reminds me of the Thinker. Just kind of also looks like he's sitting on the toilet.
What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker.
What does that really mean, though?
When you pawn, or colloquially pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing.
Oh yes, now you've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags on everything.
Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow.
No, we are not gonna get rid of the clothes off our own back, okay?
My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit.
You gonna wear that forever? You gotta grow up sometime, buddy. Yeah, horsey. No, nothing there. Okay, let's look at the desk. Oh.
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
Mr. Windibank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts.
He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger.
Yeah.
This revolver here.
Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow.
Huh?
I assure you, Mr. Windibank will not hesitate to draw that weapon with the speed belying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out? Indeed. In recompense for his blunder.
Yeah, he did threaten to do so a few times.
Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
Okay.
There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there.
I didn't click on that, but okay.
That leads to the storage room where Mr. Windibank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity.
Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do.
There is but one key, and Mr. Windibank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot which he slides under his pillow. Oh, how on earth do you know about that, Mr. Holmes?
Oh my.
I watch you while you sleep, sir. I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain.
Mr. Holmes, you are a wonder.
And the prime suspect if this pawnbrokery is ever burgled.
Yeah, he knows quite a lot. So I think this case will be interesting because it's definitely going to be related to him. And Sherlock is definitely going to have to help us out because he knows a lot, so... Okay, what other stuff are we looking at here? Nothing else up here. The door. The date?
That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date.
Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date.
That That's important, I guess.
The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windibank.
And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before?
Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
Alright. What is this?
Look at this. Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Ah. There's a small catch just here. Look.
We're going to open it, aren't we?
Oh? Did it take a picture?
Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through.
Yeah.
I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere.
Yeah. Like a camera or binoculars? I don't know. Something weird happened there. Well, I guess we're not looking at the creepy dolls, but we're looking at this thing.
Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope. Fascinating.
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see! At once!
Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose.
Okay.
What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it.
Oh, so it's like a 3D thing for them?
Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Oh.
Oh. I feel like we're about to start something. So you know what? Let's just leave this right here. I think we've done enough for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. And until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.